Welcome back to the deep dive. Today, we are strapping in for a pretty brutal reality check on a concept you hear everywhere now, vibe coding.
Right, the idea that you can use AI agents to just sort of feel your way to a working product incredibly fast.
Exactly. And we're looking at a specific 30-day experiment, someone trying to build a financial planning cockpit for startup founders.
And this dive is so important because it really hits on a massive pain point for, I think, a lot of our listeners.
Yeah.
We're talking about those founders who are just drowning in these monster financial models. You know, the ones, the Excel sheets with like 47 tabs?
Oh, I know them well. And they completely lose momentum the second an investor asks that one question.
The what if question. What if your customer acquisition cost changes by 15% and they just freeze?
So that was the gap this project was supposed to fill. The mission, and it was ambitious, was to use AI tools like Replit and Mistral AI to build this cockpit that could handle that kind of scenario planning in seconds.
And the timeline they set was, let's just say optimistic.
Wildly. 2 to 3 weeks for a functional MVP.
Yeah. And we want to shortcut your learning curve here, so we're just going to give you the TLDR right up front.
Okay, let's have it.
Over 30 days, they burned through $127 in credits. The core AI calculations were off by a staggering 20% in some cases.
Ouch. A 20% error in finance is, that's fatal.
It is, but here's the silver lining, the thing that saved it from being a total waste.
Okay.
After all that, one founder was still willing to pay $50 a month for the idea, and that signal, that's gold.
That's the product market fit signal. Okay, so let's walk through all the mistakes to get there.
Let's start with week 1. The source material calls it the honeymoon phase, which is perfect.
Because the vision was huge, right?
Yeah.
Real-time data syncs, investor-ready reports, all of it.
Oh, yeah. The builder was totally convinced, from watching all the AI influencer demos, that this would be easy, hence the 2-week timeline.
A timeline which, of course, did not hold up. And the reality check came from 3 really critical early mistakes.
The first one was treating the AI agent like it could multitask.
Like a human.
Right, giving it a bunch of instructions at once. Things like, make the dashboard cleaner and add night mode and fix this bug all in one prompt.
What did the AI do with that list?
It basically had a meltdown. It got confused and created what the source calls a Frankenstein version that did none of the things requested.
Wow. And that one attempt cost how much?
6 rollbacks and $23 in credits right out of the gate. So
Yeah.
lesson 1. One thing at a time.
Focus is key. So what was mistake number 2?
Underestimating UI. Even for something that sounds simple, the prompt was add night mode.
Okay, sounds straightforward.
The result was a classic disaster. White text on a white background.
The digital void, of course.
Exactly. And fixing it wasn't a quick tweak. It took 3 days of going back and forth, patiently explaining the concept of contrast to a machine.
3 days of pure frustration, which I imagine leads directly into mistake number 3.
It does. The absolute necessity of being surgically precise with your prompts. There's a huge difference between a bad prompt, like make it more intuitive.
Which is just asking for trouble.
Total trouble. The AI just guesses and might change your entire navigation. Compare that to a better prompt like change the calculate button color to blue, hex code #00066cc, and increase the font size to 16px.
One is a vibe, the other is an instruction.
Precisely. And that precision is your currency.
So was there a specific phrase, a guardrail, that helped stop the AI from just running away with an expensive guess?
There was, and he called it the magic incantation. It was incredibly simple.
Let's hear it.
Don't make any changes without confirming your understanding with me.
Ah, so you force it to pause and report its plan before it acts.
Exactly. It forces that explicit approval step and saves hours of rollbacks.
Okay, so that's week 1.
Yeah.
But the real pain, the credit card bill, that started in week 2, right? That $127 total was accelerating.
It was accelerating fast. Week 1 was, $34? Seemed okay. But week 2 shot up to $93.
Whoa.
Yeah, that's when he realized he needed a hard rule. $40 a week, maximum. If you hit it, you have to stop and figure out why you're burning cash.
It forces you to be a better prompt engineer out of necessity.
Right. And this leads to another kind of existential dread. The feeling you get when the AI is coding in a language you don't really know.
He had it building in TypeScript, right? Why was that such a problem? Doesn't the AI just handle it?
Well, it handles the writing, sure. But when an error pops up, a complex TypeScript error, you're the one who has to debug it.
And you're just staring at syntax you don't understand.
A whole day he spent just trying to figure out what was wrong. The only thing that saved the project was the rollback feature.
Rollback is your lifeboat. How many times do we use it?
73 times in 30 days.
73. That says everything. But okay, the most humbling moment had to be the first user feedback.
Oh, it was brutal, especially on the financial precision. A founder's CAC calculation, that's customer acquisition cost.
A vital metric for any startup.
The AI's calculation was off by 20%.
Fatal.
Absolutely fatal. And figuring out why took 6 hours of hell. It turned out Mistral AI was making assumptions. Sometimes it would confuse monthly churn with annual churn, or even worse.
What's worse than that?
It would just invent its own formula for churn if the prompt wasn't specific enough.
That is terrifying. Which brings up this incredibly ironic lesson.
The irony is rich. You have to validate the AI's output with manual calculations.
So he had to keep a spreadsheet.
The very tool his app was supposed to kill, he was using it to check the AI's math.
And that's where the dream of the perfect vibe-coded model builder really started to break down.
It had to. But then, on day 21, came the light bulb moment.
From a user, of course.
Of course. A founder just cut through it all and said, look, I don't want another financial model builder. I just want to ask, how do I extend my runway by 3 months and get an answer?
Wow. That changes everything.
It really did. The product pivoted right then. It went from being a complex tool to an AI-powered financial advisor.
So not just crunching numbers, but validating assumptions, flagging unrealistic goals.
Exactly. But even that advisor role hit a wall, a hard one.
The integration wall.
Yep. The moment he tried to connect to something like QuickBooks, he was dead in the water. That requires OAuth 2.0, webhooks, token refreshes.
That's not vibe code. That's serious infrastructure.
It's a security contract, and AI agents just can't handle that kind of complex, secure integration yet. For that, you need a traditional developer.
Which just reinforces that lesson about precision again. The bad prompt. Calculate runway.
The good prompt. Calculate runway using this exact formula with these exact values and show your work step by step.
You have to force it to explain his logic.
It's non-negotiable when money is on the line.
Okay, so let's synthesize this. He boiled it down to 6 key principles for anyone else trying this.
Number 1, be surgically precise. No vague language. 2, one change at a time. No parallel tasks.
3, validate everything. Assume the AI is wrong until proven right.
4, use rollback liberally. 73 rollbacks is not a failure, it's a feature. 5, listen to your users. They'll give you the real product direction.
And 6,
Know when to pivot, or really, know when to stop. Complex integrations need a human expert.
so let's look at the final scorecard. 30 days, $127 spent, 73 rollbacks, 3,500 lines of AI-generated code.
And on the user side, the metrics were just as raw. 23 people interested, 12 actually signed up.
But only one founder willing to pay.
One founder willing to pay $50 a month. And that right there, that's the signal that the core idea had value, even if the execution was messy.
Looking back, what were his big regrets? What would he do differently?
2 main things. First, he would have started with Python instead of TypeScript. Use a language you actually know so you can debug it.
Seems obvious in hindsight.
And the second one is the big one. Get 10 user interviews before writing a single line of code.
He would heard that advisor not tool insight on day 1.
And saved weeks of work. It just proves that vibe coding doesn't let you skip the fundamentals of building a business.
So where's the graduation threshold? When do you stop vibe coding and hire a pro?
The guidepost they landed on was about 10 paying customers. When you have 10 plus people paying and they start asking for things AI can't do, complex cohort analysis, multi-tenant security, those API integrations, that's when you need to scale with pro code.
So vibe coding is for rapid prototyping, for validating the core idea.
Exactly. But it hits a hard wall with enterprise complexity and, as we saw, the absolute need for financial precision.
At the end of it all, the ultimate lesson is what?
It's that the one thing he'd do differently is talk to 50 founders before starting, not 10. 50.
Wow.
Because customer validation is still king no matter how good your tools are. The AI is a co-pilot. It's not a replacement for knowing your market.
Which brings us to our final thought for you to chew on. If an AI agent can write 3,500 lines of code in 30 days, what percentage of your own work, the repetitive stuff, is just boilerplate?
Right. What part of your job could be prototyped or handled by an AI agent, freeing you up to focus only on the complex, high-value parts that truly require your human judgment?
Something to think about on your next project.